Okay, here you go.
So you want to officially do the roll call?
No, well, what I'm going to do is say,
Yeah.
this is a meeting at Pacc. We are doing it hybrid, and we just did roll call for Faith, Paul, Steve, myself, and Pete Lincoln is not present.
Here's a copy.
Joe
We
is
can't
not
vote on the
here
minutes.
either at the moment. So, any public comments? No members of the public? Not seeing any on Zoom. Any committee comments? Yes. Anyone else? Okay. All I'd like to do is welcome you to the committee.
Thank you.
So that it's in the minutes. Happy to see that you are here.
Thank you.
If I could clarify a couple of things for you so we all know we're on the same page. Because I was at the select board meeting via Zoom when you were sworn in. Not when you were sworn in, when you were appointed. The negotiations for new contracts are nothing to do with us. We provide support. So they created last time another committee called the Cable Advisory Committee. I was actually on that. They negotiate with an attorney on behalf of the town, not on behalf of us.
I see.
So the town holds the contract, not us.
Okay.
I just want to make sure
Yes,
we're all
I
on the
talked
same
about
page.
being involved in
Right, you did. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's good. What they'll do,
One less thing for us to worry about.
another 5 years probably before we start that again. I don't remember the specific
Okay, you're
time.
talking about Comcast and Verizon.
No, just Comcast. Verizon does not offer video services in Lunenburg. Interesting. When I came here, I thought they did because my phone is fiber and it's Verizon. So they have no contract. They've been invited in the past. They're not interested. So
They only have a small portion of the town on fiber.
Correct.
And Fios anyway, so
it's sort of the Fitchburg side.
exactly.
So I live on Pleasant Street, which is almost the Fitchburg line. And so I'm just in there. So, but anyway, welcome. The other thing I would mention is that this committee is not supposed to get involved in the day-to-day operations because that makes sense. But be very clear, if you want to volunteer and you have ideas and you want to make videos, just work with Joe. Because we need those as well.
Yes, so
So-
like, there's no conflict if I just go work with Joe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Very good.
If you read the bylaws that are online, there are several pages and that's mentioned in the bylaws. So you just have a rough idea.
And I have worked with Joe for that news for about a year. I did
Yes,
like
you
a
did.
quick news show with community news with her because she needed someone to do that. So it wasn't a conflict.
Very good.
However, you don't get paid.
Yeah,
That's all
that's
understood.
true.
And
And if I wanted to, at some point, maybe teach some classes here through, I would just go through Joe,
just go through Joe.
you know, volunteer basis.
Typically, if something comes up like we want to start having classes, so in a large sense,
Yeah.
that would likely come through here.
Gotcha.
The details of actually doing it then would be through Joe, and she would schedule and do all the rest of the stuff she
I'm
does.
gonna hold back on that. As you know, at the meeting, I said I have some interest in doing some education.
Yes.
Here, so but before I just go ahead and do that, we would discuss that as a committee.
Yeah, right. And we're actually somewhat loosey-goosey. So
I do like to play by the rules as well.
ideas come up and Joe hears them. And then when you get to the more specifics, but we all try to be creative. Joe, Faith, as she just said, used to have a news program. Pete Lincoln has Talking Baseball. I have no idea what that's about, but he does that.
And story time.
And story time. In
Yeah,
fact, I did one story time. I did the night before Christmas because my accent apparently was appropriate.
I think so.
There you go.
it was your beard probably that.
Oh, it could have been my beard as well. Yeah. You're
But I also
absolutely
wanted to mention that that we belong to a consortium of cable stations around the state. And sometimes they have educational programs that you could take advantage of, that Joe could tell you about too.
By the
So
way,
there's
that's
lots
both
of
way.
opportunities to
Yeah.
learn more.
And that's both way. So if we do some really nice educational, we can put it out. It's called mass access,
Mhm.
and it can get distributed. So, okay, one thing, although this is curious, the first meeting of the financial year, we re-elect all our officers. We have 3 officers.
Okay,
Which,
we have communications next.
isn't that what that is? Oh,
Oh,
wasn't that? Was there something you want to bring up? I'm sorry.
no,
That should have,
I thought that was going to be under appointment of clerk.
you're right. That's what I was reading. For communications, if you're going to the volunteer evening soiree, that would be a good word for it, would it?
Yeah.
Please respond to the invitation that you got. You send them out
Right.
to everybody.
Oh, do you need the invitation?
I think you got it, didn't you? 16th of June,
Oh, the barbecue.
5:30 till 7. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, that's right. It's not a barbecue anymore, but
No, I did not get
you're
it.
talking about
Oh,
the
I'm sorry, you should have done.
I don't believe it.
volunteer
No, I wouldn't
appreciation.
have sent it to him.
Okay, I thought
She
you
sent
did
it to
when you
me.
sent the minutes and things, but never mind.
I haven't sent
Yeah.
anything. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a voluntary thank you. I don't,
Yeah, that's all it's for, is to thank volunteers.
It used to be that the selectmen barbecued and
The
they held
volunteers,
it at
oh,
the senior center. But then the last year or so, they catered it, or I mean, the last time
I
they
brought
catered
food
it.
in, yeah, right. So,
Might even have a card, but that one should be sad, so I would have.
I have a rehearsal, so.
I will, I've got to cross check. I think I'm all right to go for it. It's also, you don't have to be there at 5:30 and stay till 7. You know, it's a drift in and out.
Volunteer appreciation dinner.
I would
Yeah.
love to go.
Yeah.
A good friend might have a retirement party that night, but we'll see. I have to go and look at the calendar.
Anyway, Steve will, thank you, Steve.
Do that.
So the appointment of a clerk is confusing because the first meeting of the financial year, which starts in July, we reappoint officers, whoever might end up for another 12 months. But Steve has been cheerfully acting as clerk. So if we appointed you formally, Steve, would you be happy with that? Or
Yeah, I have no problems.
anybody have any?
You
I make a
realize,
motion because he's done a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
It's concise and easy to read.
Yes. So Faith has made
You
a
want a second,
motion
Paul?
that Steve,
I second the.
Paul has seconded it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Faith? You're in favor,
Yes.
right?
I,
It always seems silly. They make the motion. Now are you in favor?
I'm in favor.
Are you,
Aye,
you can abstain, you know that.
aye. Just so you know, in the past, I've made motions and then I've said no. Sometimes I
Really?
make a motion so that, because once you make a motion, then you can discuss it.
Right.
That's-
And that can change what you thought.
And then during the discussion, it can be changed, and so you
Yes.
just vote it down. And I will often say, I'm gonna make a motion, and I'm assuming we're all gonna vote it down, but let's discuss this
Right.
part of this.
Yes, it brings it to the
And
table.
it brings it to a point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
all. Just so, Steve,
But,
just so,
oh yeah,
all right, I'm clear.
I'm still learning.
Minutes.
Meeting minutes, which you should have in front of you.
yeah,
They were sent to you.
Several times.
Yes, at least one.
yes.
So,
This one we can't vote on.
You weren't there.
I've never understood that because I've had people make the motion to accept them who weren't at the meeting.
And that's,
But you really shouldn't,
we should.
but I
say-
don't think it's illegal. So,
That's true. We can.
I bet you know what? I bet it's on the printer. Never mind. I looked through them. So you're abstaining from this, which is fine. Faith, did you look at the minutes?
Yes, and I will make a motion if you need one to accept the
Yes, you
minutes
do.
as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Faith in favor?
Aye.
Paul, you abstain. We do try and run this, right? Steve, you
In
wrote
favor, yes.
so, and I'm in favor because, as always, you did a very
You
good
don't want to
job,
go back to it,
and
yeah.
I thank you. So that's that one. We should have a copy of the manager's report in front of us. So what I'll do is the 10 points. So I'll bring them up in case anyone has any questions, which I may be able to answer or not. So Brian Hebert, as in part of the ACE program, is it called, Steve?
Yes.
And he's been doing, I think, 3 hours a week with us, helping, doing stuff. He's working out quite well, which is encouraging. I believe he painted the chairs with those green chairs, and he painted the pink cupboard over there.
And what does ACE stand for?
It's an achievement class. It's I believe it's post high school,
Yes.
and and it's a couple of years to but
It's really to bring you up.
bring
somewhere if you
them
can.
and give them skills so that they can participate in the world.
Yeah.
So
They're-
positive.
They're challenged.
Yeah, and they are, so it's the continuation
Yeah.
even after they graduate from high
Right,
school.
it's life skills,
So to age 20.
but it's more life skills
Right.
towards like doing something and earning money, having an apartment,
Yeah.
it's transition.
Transition, that's a good word. I like
Transition.
that. Thank
So
you.
he's doing stuff, he's been painting, he's actually gonna do a video on the ACE program. It's one
Oh.
of the things he's thinking about doing,
Well, it says he's almost finished with his first project.
which could be that,
I would
'cause,
imagine that's the video.
Joe mentioned that he wanted to do that.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
Yes. Good.
Okay, we have newly painted chairs in the studio. So Joe
What's-
has created, if you haven't been in the studio for a while, we've got a lot more space. We have the new
Yeah.
lighting grid up. She's reorganized a lot of things. We have a battery charging station, and there's kind of a little reception area, which is particularly good if somebody is doing story time or anything else, that a couple of people can sit and watch them do it.
So those are audience chairs. Those are not musical.
Oh, they can be.
Well, they painted the
Well-
same color as green screen. That's what I was wondering if,
Well, that would be cool.
yeah.
You put them
Well,
there and
you-
they're kind of hovering in the air.
I don't know if Joe even thought of that.
I bet she's
Two grass left over green screen paints.
She probably had that green bowl and said,
Yeah, I
"I'll match the
know.
bowl."
I like that.
So anyways, it's lovely.
So anyway, newly painted. There was a
What's with the
problem with,
dead bird? This
Okay,
next
we're
point,
just
dead bird in
coming to that.
control room?
yeah,
yeah.
we lost
It's a
the,
new song.
audio on a FinCom meeting. And when they went and hunted it down, Joe was in touch with Castus to see if it was their problem. Dan Nadoreski, I believe, is somebody who now works for the IT contractors. I think he used to work directly for the town. Not sure on that.
I don't know.
And Dan Seminatore is a senior videographer with us. So he's
Yeah, I've met and worked with Dan a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
so they looked at, they found a cable had been knocked out, which was the audio cable, and adjacent to it apparently was a dead bird. We
Oh, so
don't know
the
if
bird
this,
got electrocuted?
well, usually
Thanks, both.
audio cables don't very often kill you, but they only have a few 100 millivolts in them, so less than a volt.
But who knows? I hope it's not ominous of anything.
So
Just
anyway,
seemed odd,
Yeah.
number 4, we have added a YouTube stream of an Anglican mass. It's a live stream on Channel 9 Sundays. Right now, Lunenburg didn't have any church services up at all because Saint
Boniface has a new
Rector,
priest
priest.
who does not like to have his picture taken, period.
Okay, so
So
that
that
ended up
program
with us
ended.
not having anything. So we have brought in a church. It's in Marlborough called Holy Trinity Anglican Church.
Oh, I should
So-
have told.
It's a church I've been going to since 1984.
There's,
But we live stream to YouTube and have a way of feeding it automatically into our caster system, and it goes up.
you should
Sorry.
probably tell Joe, there's, Father Nichols, who used to be here, his church in Worcester also posts on YouTube.
Okay,
My wife has seen that, so I
Yeah.
could probably send that to Joe. And just say, you know, you might be able to get a different one.
right.
And just for my learning curve, what is Castus there?
Castus is the server that lives at the town hall. And so we can load stuff onto it.
Okay. And that's
And
what
then
channels 9
you
and 99?
8, 9, and 99. 8 is government,
Yeah,
9 is public,
yeah.
99 is educational. We've only just got that one a year or so ago.
Mhm.
So you put stuff on the casters. You can put a schedule on the casters. Sorry, Joe. And then it will find stuff on the casters, do all the conversions necessary. One thing you may be interested to know is from end to end, we are high definition.
Okay.
We have to add equipment right at the output where it goes to the cable to down convert it to standard definitions. So we actually go out standard definition at the moment. So-
Okay.
Okay, apparently the recorded Memorial Day ceremony, high school graduation, spring concert. Were you in that? Is that something? Oh, that's not, because we have town concert. Eagle House.
Goes in July.
I do not know what number 6 is. Big things that are being spent, like the grid and the lighting, typically would come through here. If it's a small amount and we
Yeah,
don't
the
have
table
specific-
mics.
Yes,
Mm,
we don't have a
Could
specific.
possibly, yeah, could possibly be in a meeting room somewhere.
Oh, I don't know where they are.
Yeah,
We have 3 candidates for production technician.
good.
I normally am with Joe when we interview people, and we haven't got a schedule for interviewing them yet. So
You know when she's back from vacation.
she's taking, one of the problems is if you don't take some vacations by the end of June, you lose them.
So
So
pretty much
Yeah.
she has a sprinkling of vacations through the month.
Okay.
Not a fair way of stating it.
Yeah, okay, very good.
So story time, this mass access Telview is another manufacturer that does a lot of work with public access cable.
Okay,
They're downloading story time. So there are a lot of different public access cable people in Massachusetts take both Pete Lincoln's and story time. So talking baseball and story time. We also, as Steve was saying earlier, take stuff from them. It's a free for all out there. So which is
Mhm.
cool, actually.
Yeah,
just another way of distributing content,
Right.
yeah.
They're actually trying to move to a version where we could actually take the stream directly from another one. But there's still technical work to be done to make that happen. So apparently we're buying a digital audio recorder.
I
Okay.
wonder which one.
Okay.
They might have gotten that idea because I went to the Memorial Day service to cover it for the Ledger and I put my recorder on the podium.
Yeah.
It's called a Zoom. It's not the same as Zoom. It's about this size.
Mhm.
And they borrowed that card from me immediately after the ceremony to line up, because it had, you know, really what better audio.
I was standing
Oh.
there and probably could have fixed the sound system.
Okay.
Knowing,
Oh, that's right. The sound system was down.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming they plugged the cord into the wrong spot.
They did one test, literally said the word test once and I heard it over the PA and then
Mhm.
the PA died. So anyways, they're handy to have. So if
Yeah.
you guys don't own any of those, they're like, they range
Yeah.
from 100 to 500 depending on how many bells and whistles you get.
Yeah, I have a couple.
I guess some Zooms, yeah.
Yeah, I have
One,
one a little bit bigger than my thumb and then I have one of the old ones, 4-channel. That I used to record concerts and stuff.
and those will take in an XLR and all that.
Oh, yeah, I put a little SD card in.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
cable, yeah.
Mine doesn't, but you can get
Like,
them.
I'd like the $500 ones or, yeah, but anyways, a digital recorder is a good thing to have.
Okay, number 10, Andrea Laford runs the bulletin board. She is actually a contractor. We have confusions between contractors and 1099 employees. So
Okay.
that was getting resolved during this past year. She's a contractor, works from home.
Okay.
And if you need stuff put up on the bulletin board, she's the one you send it to.
I
And
actually have something coming up this week.
okay,
This is gonna be a vigil that's being organized, and we're talking about it at the board meeting. Doing a emergency, because normally I have to have a 90-day thing. Do you have an email for her or where I can get that to her?
yes.
Okay.
What you wanted as well.
Yes, may I have that? Or-
I don't know if I have it. Probably.
Email Joe and ask for it.
Okay,
It would be A. LaFord at Lunenburg.
I think she might be on her own,
She might be on her own.
but
is Joe
I,
checking?
I thought it was, I thought
Yeah,
he was
to-
right with slash bulletin board or something.
not sure. But anyway,
Okay.
Joe will get it to you, or
I also have, I can text her, so either way, I'll.
yeah,
I
but
can bug her
if
when she
we
sends
have
it.
a Facebook page as well, I think it may be on that as well.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, I do subscribe.
So that was the reading of the manager's report in case there were questions or anything else coming up. Anybody have anything further on that? Hearing nothing, we move right along. So we keep on our agenda, discuss future studio space. So just to update you, we have money we've been accumulating specifically, not for the new studio building, but for the contents of a new studio building. If you build a studio, the old price we've got probably should go up quite a bit. As $100 per square foot would be preparation.
$300 to $350.
Yeah, it
That's what
probably
it's
is
to
up there now.
Yeah.
So we're looking for 2,700 square feet.
Mhm.
That number that Steve just gave out means the whole thing would be in the $900,000 to furnish it, soundproof walls, special paint, all sorts of stuff, plus a grid work over the studio area so that you can hang lights, microphones, and such like.
Mhm.
So we have to wait for the town to come up with space for us. We were so close when the TC Passios, this building,
Mhm. Yeah,
took it to the town meeting.
yes.
But that was right when inflation and supply issues were hitting the building industry. So the
Yes.
number they were working to by the time it was presented was $40 million to fix up this entire building.
Right.
That included for us a suite of around about 3,000 square feet. Approximately, this is 900.
Okay.
So you get some sense of what it looks like. So
Sure.
3 classrooms
Yeah.
where we would have an entrance, a couple of offices, main studio, kitchen studio, green rooms for people to get changed and put makeup on.
Professionals.
Well, one thing we're really trying to do, and you're one of us who now can help, despite the fact we're small, we're trying to be one of the best studios around. So amongst other things, that would mean, whereas you could have 3 people doing a shoot in a studio, one working video, one working audio, one directing, we have to use more expensive equipment so that one person can run all the cameras, deal with the audio, and direct the whole shooting match at the same time, because we don't have enough in our operations budget, which is annual.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
about 200,000 per year we get from Comcast. So we can't afford to employ very many people.
Mhm.
Steve,
Yes,
can I mention that you and I and Joe and other members of the committee have from time to time gone to various different public access stations in towns in Massachusetts. And so we've had a chance to look at operations that were huge, that had plenty of staff, and some that have had very little staff, but they've all had more staff than we have.
Yes,
But
this
still,
is true.
we've gotten some good ideas from
Yep.
large and small stations, so that we have designed what we thought was the best of the features we've seen at the different towns, and what would work for this town.
Yep.
So we're
Exactly.
not coming up with these things out of the blue. We've checked it out in different towns, and we can still do that. And it's still fun to go to the different towns, because every town seems to do it differently.
Right.
Did you go to Malden?
Malden, I don't think we have.
Because they have a pretty big operation.
Yeah, we went
Did
to
you go to any high
Wakefield.
school sites, Dave? I don't know what Concord
We
has.
went to
Uh,
Wakefield, and what was that other big one near Burlington? or something?
Reading
Reading,
We've
yeah.
been to
We went to
Reading.
Wakefield and Reading.
and
And
Danvers we've been to.
Sterling,
to Pepperell.
Lancaster.
Now, Pepperell's a very small one, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I know other
so-
people have been to Westford. I haven't, but that looks like a small
Yeah.
one.
And I've been into a couple of school ones. Be aware, and Steve will confirm this, when they got all the grants and everything to build the school, they were only allowed to build what they already have, but new. So they couldn't add things like a studio in there.
Right.
So,
I'm not a big fan of having public access within the high school. I don't think that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons. There's other ones, but I'm just curious. I'll just say it's really awesome what you're doing, and you can count me in on any future visits if I can make it. I think that's really wise to be
Yeah.
checking out what other people are doing.
you're retired, so you've got nothing better to do, right?
Well, people seem to find stuff already on my way.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes.
I have the same issue.
Yeah. The honeydew list, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I built a boat when I was retired. Okay, so that's where we sort of are on the future studio space. There is a committee meeting at the moment, which is called the Lunenburg Municipal Building Design Committee. And on the agenda tonight is discuss criteria for program prioritization. So they are looking at housing in proper accommodation, the minimum that they can manage, because the town hall is quite frankly
Yeah.
about to fall apart. Ritter
Building
is
has its
falling
issues as
apart
well.
in a different way. This has leaking roofs, asbestos,
Yeah.
lead paint. We're not allowed to drill holes in the wall. You know, you need 3 people to do that, a supervisor,
Yeah.
a lead qualified technician, you know. I mean,
Mhm.
unfortunately, that's not funny at all.
I see
So-
in minutes from last meeting that Chapel Lane building was asked about and is already
It's
gone.
completely leased
Yeah.
about. That surprised me because
So there is a possibility that we find a leased area.
no, if the town wants to find a leased area for us,
The municipal,
Then-
yes.
we have to be careful because there are people around who think we have enough money to go and buy a building and equip it.
Oh.
Steve went to Leominster and got a whole bunch of costs.
I did a kind of a quick cost analysis. We don't have enough money to run the building per year,
Right.
period.
Yeah, even if we could build one, we
If we had
couldn't.
our own building, if
afford it.
someone said, we're gonna give you this building, we don't have enough money
It's
to
a
run it.
liability, right? Like-
Well, Joe would be out of a job. By the time you pay utilities, snow clearing, landscaping.
Yeah.
Fire alarm, sprinkler system, plumbing, sanitation. you
That's
name
right,
it.
Yeah.
we would lease somewhere.
No, we
We
wouldn't.
can't.
If the town does,
Yeah,
Then it becomes the town, like here, the town pays for the cleaning. We pay a rent, they supply the electricity, the internet, the cleaning,
right?
general repairs.
Yeah.
If something, I mean, if a
Well,
pipe
and major
breaks,
repairs if
yeah,
they're
major repairs.
Yeah.
They updated the electrical system for you.
I'm not sure who paid for that. That was before my time.
Okay,
That may have been paid for by Pacc because it's specific for
Okay.
Pacc.
but the general bill, it's $600 a month. So this-
6,000 a year, 500 a month.
500 a
Very
month.
close. That was good.
And so,
What's the deal?
so if they lease the building and said you can use it,
Yeah,
it's gonna cost you $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
We could do that, but they would have to do all the services.
Right.
We would just show up.
We should clarify one small thing. Around Massachusetts, probably 75 to 80% of the public access groups are 501c3s.
Yeah.
They contract with the town.
Yeah.
The town gives them the money in general that's coming from the franchise fee.
yeah,
We, along with quite a few others, but not all of them, are a town department.
Yeah.
So Joe is a town employee.
Okay.
That deals with a whole bunch of things, some of which we pay for, things like pension, medical plan,
Mhm.
start throwing those in if we're our own.
Yes, if we're on our own.
Mhm.
So, I'm just
Healthcare.
taking this opportunity to
This
give
is-
you a broad picture. So,
Yes, there's a lot to learn. You see.
Yeah, there was, that was very eye-opening, Steve's cost analysis report on,
oh
you
yeah,
know, when we
And I
got
didn't go
that.
into a lot of detail. I just got the
No.
basics.
In general, overall, what did you think of the Leominster facility? Is it a big
Oh,
facility? Is it?
It's twice as big as what we need.
it's 4,500 square feet. So, it's
So I took all
one
of their
and a half
things and cut it in half.
Mhm.
It costs $2 million
Yeah.
to build. I don't
Standalone or?
Standalone.
Mm,
I don't know if that included buying the land or
Yes.
It
I think
did?
it did.
mm.
I think it
Okay.
was 2 million for
And are they
everything.
on the 501c3 model or?
Yep.
Yes, they
Okay,
are.
okay.
Wasn't it a
difference-
Quonset hut too?
It's a nano building. It's not a Quonset.
A what?
hut.
You're so close, Faith.
Come on, next.
No, I'm
The
not.
Quonset huts are the half round ones they used to put up in the wall. So
Yeah,
you're dating yourself there.
I
But yes,
am.
it's a steel building. Essentially, it's a big open steel building, and you have to fully
You can look at
equip
that
inside
If
it.
you want.
So what's the term, the modern term?
Steel building.
Steel building. Yeah, let's go with
Oh,
what's
okay.
Basically, it's a steel building.
I prefer yours, quite honestly. I think that's very descriptive.
Those are buildings that go up quick and they're, relatively speaking, cheaper to put up.
Yeah.
But that's the trap. Because you
Because
get a concrete slab, you get the
You have to
building.
pay for the
Yeah.
concrete slab.
Oh, yeah, you
There's
pay
an
for
extra
it.
cost for the slab.
Yeah,
But so you've got what they call dirt work, which is preparation,
Yeah.
put a concrete slab
Yeah.
down. Put this on it, they give you the keys to the door and good luck.
yeah.
And now you've got everything, electricity, water, sanitation, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the temperature control which is
Oh, yeah.
essential to us, would be more difficult. I have a
Let's see
question
something
about the old primary school. I
we
thought
go.
I heard or read that
Here's the rest of it.
that
Oh,
the
So,
town,
sorry, Faith. Say again?
the old primary
Yeah.
school
So you notice
that the
not needing
town
shell for the electricity.
put
Yeah, it was
is
cheaper. but
spending money
still
to
expensive.
fix it or something?
I think they're spending money to take it down, right? The old
Which one?
primary school?
The old primary school, they're spending $300,000, $250,000. They're gonna demolish it and flatten the land.
Okay. All right, I knew
Um,
there was some money allocated. I didn't know what
They
was for though.
were going to come up with a plan of what to do with it, and then at town meeting, they pretty much cut most of that out, so it's just gonna be
Okay.
demolished.
Oh,
It's a
okay. Yeah,
liability,
that's
so-
probably where I read that in the
Yeah.
warrant.
Right.
Okay. And
Okay,
has there
anyone?
been any update about the site about in front of the fire police station, that old boat?
Oh, funny you should ask. The gentleman wants to sell it for a very high price, and will not go down. It was my understanding that the town had a chance several years ago to buy it relatively cheaply and said no. And now he says, sure, I'll sell it to you, but it's, we're in the six figures, high six figures.
Mm.
So the town can't afford it.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
Okay.
roll with the lovely,
I believe last meeting, Pete Lincoln was talking about that he had thought of getting together with a couple of people to buy the land and donate it, well, to the park department or something.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I remember him saying that that's how low the price was then.
Mhm.
The price now is extraordinarily high.
And it's a
Mm.
knockdown. The house that's on there needs to be
Yeah.
flattened. And so
Right.
what you're basically buying is the land.
Is the
Um,
land,
yeah,
yeah.
they moved the business, but they're leaving the lovely structure in place.
It's actually residential, I think.
Something to say.
There's kids stuff out in the yard at the back of it. But you know, at least if it catches fire, it's closed.
Speaking of
Are
which,
you-
is there any extra room in the fire department, like up on the second floor?
No.
That's all in use.
Actually, you know, I think there might be up there because they had an issue with ADA access
We
up
had to
there.
move out of there to
Well,
here.
that would be an issue for you.
Well, except we'd end up, or the town would end up having to pay to do that.
There is no elevator. in there, right?
We actually invited Heather Lemieux to come to one of our meetings. And the question we sort of gave her, and she made a valiant attempt at answering, was, are there any other buildings, any other spaces in town that might work for us? And really, we own an awful lot of properties in the town, tax foreclosures. You know, there's the DPW on Chase Road, the whole safety building, as you just brought up.
Yeah.
We own a lot of stuff around, but I don't see a plan to do anything with the stuff. So, problem in part, I believe, this is just me as an outsider. I don't really count. I've only been here for 9 years now. Is TC Passios became a focus, and it also had political overtones.
Yeah,
So, you know.
and then we got hit with, crazy rises in cost.
Oh, yeah,
So
that got
I
silly.
have a rudimentary overview understanding of all of the issues around,
Good.
but, so right now, there's no, I guess, only real question is, there's no super huge pressure on us to get out of here.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is.
Because we want to use the money we have to do a much better job.
Okay.
Not that we're not doing a good job, don't get me wrong. We can do a much better job in a proper custom interior studio. So this that we just bought, this grid, is portable. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
you could. So we could take that with us.
Yeah.
And we're looking at an interview studio, a small studio. We can use that. You can also make it smaller. We haven't found out how to make it bigger. I think that's a different problem. I think we can make it smaller. We can do. It's aluminium, so
For,
yeah, decent axle will get right through that. So
for,
I wanted,
I just want to ask a question, even though it's probably an obvious answer. We want to stay in the town, but has there ever been any looking over anything over in Devon's, if there's any surplus property over there that might be?
actually, you're the first one to bring that up, but
yeah,
I'd agree with your first point. We really need to be in the town.
So the way Devon's doesn't touch Lunenburg, I mean, it touches it, but it's not part of.
Yeah. There's a lot of
The,
film going on over there.
Yes, there is, yeah. Studio over there.
I just wanted to update you on the Stone Farm property had been sold apparently, but then it wasn't, so it's up for sale again.
Oh, is it?
We had just mentioned it last time, that's why
Yeah.
I'm updating. But it's not that it's for consideration for us, but
That's been deteriorating ever since I've been in Lunenburg. So
yeah,
That's not a tax foreclosure, that's still owned by.
that's private, yeah. I don't think the town. I didn't see
yeah,
anything.
I don't know what the tax status is or what, it may be all paid or maybe not, but
Mhm.
that's just the update.
They
There's a new
gave
sign,
me
new for
a
sale
list of
sign.
all the properties the town owns, and that wasn't amongst them.
That wasn't
It's
one,
a lot.
okay.
But some of
And I
them are
know we
little
talked
patches of
about
land.
Yeah,
no
I know we
one's-
talked about the
Well, there's no
gas
use.
station.
And the lovely gas station down there on.
Yeah.
That actually Heather would really like to fix, because when she came here to look at the town the very first time, she
Yeah.
saw that right by the town hall.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
she put it in her mind that was one of the blights around town
Yeah,
that she
Yep.
would fix.
but I'm gonna guess there's a super fund or DEP at the.
I imagine there's a pollution issue there, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to drag this on too long, but has anyone ever looked at, doing models where they would have the town builds a building, leases it out for commercial, stores and shops and,
Yes,
yeah,
where the old primary building is.
Yeah.
That was one of the options, but no one wanted to buy it.
okay.
And the expense of putting in something, this is over several town meetings,
Mhm,
the building was unusable.
mhm.
They tried to get someone to buy it and they all looked at the building and said, it's gonna cost a fortune to take this down with all the asbestos and all that.
Oh,
You want
yeah.
us to build a building? No. And then there was all the issues with the zoning and planning board and
Okay.
stuff
Mm.
like that. So that was looked at. There are a lot of people who wanted to keep the primary building.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's dragged out. So now finally that will be brought down and eventually that'll become a park. More of a daily use park, not a sports
Mhm.
park, but a park for barbecues and X, Y, and Z's.
Oh, just recreation.
Recreational park, yes. Eventually. Anyway, so yeah, the town did look at that kind of stuff and rebuilding some of the buildings in the center, and this is over the last 20 years,
Yeah,
and none of that has panned out.
we're sort of in this weird place of not big enough and in some ways and too big in other ways and a lot of stuff that's just, yeah. In this limbo. I'm from Worcester, so I know all about.
When they built
Wow.
the new high school, middle school,
Yeah,
there was a huge outcry because one of the trees had to be cut down.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep the old high school, which my daughter went to. There was no heat that winter.
Yeah.
No heat.
Did
There was no heat.
Yeah.
The fish tank in the science department froze
Froze.
over the weekend.
And the fish?
They're all dead. They're frozen fish.
Birds,
But there
birds
was
are.
a group that was concerned because the tree. One tree had to be cut down, yes.
again, when I started in Lincoln Southern in 2000, they had a dumpy old building like every other high school in Massachusetts, and there were those just like this leaking roofs, asbestos, and
Yeah.
everything else, and there were those who. It's just such a special place. It's like, no, it's not.
Right. Oh,
So we
people
have a lot of
find-
people who are very nostalgic.
Yeah.
That's where you put it.
Good word. I like that. yeah.
Nostalgic, so
Sentimental
Getting-
attachment to junk.
getting progress is very slow.
Okay.
So they're looking at, that's one of the reasons the building committee.
Yeah.
Is looking at what to do and all the options.
Yeah.
And every time they come up with the options after surveys and meetings. The town then says, at town meeting basically says, no, we don't want to do that, do something else.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
this
so
is been
now they're
dragging
in like
on.
the third or fourth version of what they were looking at to do.
Yeah, they got 3 reports, I think. So
And it
far.
costs money to get these reports.
Yeah, every,
Yes,
yeah,
it does.
and the longer they wait, the more expensive it got, and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what happened with one of them, is they had it and they said, oh, we can pare this down and I think we can do it. And then COVID hit and then all the prices went up.
Right.
And
Yeah, it went from about 23, 22 or 23.
so like
By
30
the time they
or
presented
something.
it, it was 40.
Yeah.
Why should have to stay for a casino license? That
Oh,
was a joke.
no, but I like it. I'm thinking,
So
Yeah.
the town is
Bingo.
looking, it is something that they are looking at, and Steve has been really good. You go to those meetings and
I'm staying here to go on it. It's
Yeah.
meeting tonight.
to make sure that we're part of the solution some way,
Yeah.
Yes.
or at least we understand.
So I wouldn't use the word grim, but I would use the word difficult.
Mhm.
It is.
There are so many players with different agendas.
Yeah.
Trying to bring them all together is
Yeah.
are they like herding cats? Is that the
Yeah,
expression you use here?
it's hurting kindergartners.
Oh, yes, that would be a better one in this case.
Yeah, there are a lot of different agendas
Yeah.
and different focuses. And there. People think other people are getting more than they should. You know, it's that
Yeah,
kind
so
of a
it's
thing.
like getting parochial.
And so there's, say, fiefdom kind of things. some people are trying very hard to work together. And then
Oh,
there's some people who are just, no.
right. One of the other issues that they did with TC Passios that turned out to be backwards, they said we've got 55,000 square feet. Anybody who wants space.
Yeah, they
An awful lot of people.
And the other issue that's hitting both the school and the town is there's state laws about document storage.
Yeah,
And the town has hundreds of years of documents that have to be stored, and that takes room. They're in the process of seeing if they can digitalize some of that, but the school department also has literally 100 years worth of documents, and some of them have to be kept. And the biggest issue at the moment is not just office space, but where to put all the documents,
right.
because they have to be accessible.
Oh, so you can't use.
Now, like if you go to town hall and say, I'd like to see the record in 1958 for my property, they have to be able to find it and get it to you. Whether it be the septic plan, you know, that kind of a thing. So there are a lot of documents that have to be available.
Yeah.
Right.
And can't be destroyed. And that's one of the big things at town meeting they were talking about is what do we do for document
In
storage?
fact, didn't they give some money for a study on that?
Yeah, to do digitalize.
Yeah,
They're
digitize.
Digitize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all good words, you know.
Digitize some, but there are state and I assume federal law.
Oh, probably federal as well.
Certain things have to be on paper. So it's not just this building, okay, refurbish this building and we'll do it because there's a lot that needs to be done. It's not like you can take this building down and just build a new one because now what's more expensive, this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
But the committee keeps getting told what the focus is,
I know.
and then they change the focus.
Right.
So every time they come up with solutions, there are people who don't like the solution, and so they come up with another solution. They don't like that one. So we're in that, we can't, as a town, agree on what we want to do, I guess, is the best way of putting it.
Very
But the value
frustrating.
is something has to be done, both we're the highest priority from our perspective.
Absolutely.
Even higher priority dealing with, you know, the main town administration, how to manage, which includes the storage.
Right.
And
So there's just a lot of different things, and we are a part of it. And they've been very good up until this last year of including this.
so far they've been very good.
They've been very good. I mean, when they were going to redesign Passios, we had our own thing with everything that we needed,
Right.
within reason. I mean, and they were very good about saying, what do you need? How do we need to do it? But then the focus changed. And then, so now we're trying to figure that out. So one of the things, that's why we went out and we looked, what if we built our own? And the price was, we can't.
Yeah.
Because we can't run our own studio
Yeah.
Yeah,
with the
we
money we
can't
have. And
sustain
as
it.
Steve will say, the Comcast money is gonna get smaller
Oh,
and smaller.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's.
it
question
is.
I had some colleagues on Friday night is, you know, YouTube's gonna kill us, basically.
Well, Lancaster is negotiating and someone else is negotiating and they know they're gonna get less.
well, there are two ways they get less. Well, one is the percentage. We're at the maximum. All bias aside, we ended up getting one of the last really good deals out of Comcast,
Yeah.
I suspect.
And you said we're good for 5 years on that?
It's a 10-year contract. I
Okay.
don't remember what year it was signed. So we went from 2.5% fee to 5%. We went from 2 channels to 3 channels. We have a letter of intent for 1 high definition channel. We're not sure what to do with that at the moment. So that's off to one side.
Yeah.
And we got this contract 180, I think, or 170,000 capital improvement is what it's called. And that's to upgrade our equipment and do that kind of thing.
Excellent.
So that's the money that's been put aside and building up. The franchise fee, we have to keep our operations under our annual income. If we do that, if we don't do that, we start using up money that's really for capital.
I see.
And you
Yes.
can't keep doing that. You run out.
No,
So our target has been all along to remain within the franchise fee. two things are going on. One is people are not signing up for cable or cutting cable.
Yeah.
I've done the numbers for Lunenburg, and we're in actually very good shape. That's hardly happening at all, which is interesting.
Well,
But the
there's
problem
no
is,
alternative to,
well, there
there's
is.
no other
That's the problem.
alternative.
The alternative is streaming video.
Streaming,
So-
right.
So what's going on in Boston at City Hall, Parliament, what do we call it? I don't know. They are looking at
No,
a new law that would make the cable companies who provide a lot of bandwidth for streaming
yes.
to pay an equivalent fee on that.
Right.
It's much more complex than that, but
And,
that's
and
what.
that's right, and they have to do that in order to survive, because the
Right.
cable subscriptions
Yeah.
are gonna be going down.
So Steve did this
Yeah.
chart over the last couple of years. We've stayed fairly constant at $50,000.
Damn, you're pretty well organized.
This is good.
This is this year's thing.
No.
In September, I'll start a new one.
So,
This is really.
So,
oh, this is
We've done
interesting.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not wonderful.
I
but
would-
we've done-
I know, done okay though.
Give-
That's
give 'em
better
a-
than many other places in.
given we only have 11,000 people living in the town, and
Yes,
if you look at Fitchburg and Leominster,
yes.
there are at least 40,000, 50,000 in that area.
Mhm.
If they're running at 5%, just averaging everything out, they're in 800,000 to 1,000,000 budget,
Mhm.
different world.
Yeah,
We're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
With a small town that I happen to quite like. It's
yeah. I like what-
pretty good here compared with where I used to live.
I like it.
Good. We all like it. All in favor? Don't make a motion. We all like the town. So I have two things left on the agenda. We shouldn't do the adjournment until after we've decided on the next meeting, the
Mhm.
date of it. The first Monday in July is, what's the
4th
called
of
here?
July.
4th of July, that's what they call it here.
Thank you.
So that was,
Independence Day.
there you go.
So
So
to get the Brits out, sort of, yeah.
I'm not around on the, I'm actually glamping.
All right.
Oh,
You should make a documentary about that.
Yes. Oh, it's a campsite my son, his family go to. And we take one of these brand new log cabins,
Very nice.
color TVs, air conditioning, microwave, you
Right.
name it.
It's really rough.
This is really rough, isn't it, right? So we've
it'll
done
be a
it
nice
couple of years
change of
before.
pace.
Oh, it stops us doing all sorts of other stuff like mowing the lawn, which requires mowing once a week at the moment.
By then.
What do we have,
So,
Mr. Clarkson?
The problem, well, you have, then it would be July 11th, and I'm unavailable for the 5 Mondays, starting July 11th,
Do we-
because I'll be
Oh.
in front of the building conducting the town band.
Mhm.
Can
Oh,
you-
yeah.
Tuesday, the 5th,
Tuesday doesn't work for me generally.
or any day that week?
Really, the whole committee has to come up with an answer.
Yes.
Before you ask the question,
Okay.
we are allowed to have this discussion by email.
Okay,
Under the open meeting law, it's one of the few things you can have a discussion and make a decision on. So by
Mm.
email,
Only send your comments to Steve.
right?
You can't send them, you know about open meeting.
I do, I'm
You
feeling
can't send out
a group email.
a group email because that's a committee.
It's a meeting, right?
You can't send out, I have,
No, you can send
Here-
out a group email, but they mustn't respond.
Respond.
I can
the
send
group.
out and say, here are the numbers for a new building projected costs.
Yeah,
You cannot respond to it.
right.
Okay,
I can send that out. So you can't respond to
So
group emails.
always says no
Except-
discussion at the
it
top.
will be helpful. to,
Actually, he's
yeah,
gonna have
Gary
to
Mud-
Watch that video and do that test
Oh,
like the
yes,
rest
yeah,
of us
he's-
had
he's
to on
actually-
actually-
open
I'm
meeting.
fully certified.
He's fully certified. He's got his ethics
I
certificate.
passed with flying colors and I forgot everything about it already.
Yay.
Not the best.
I know this, I go to prison if I break the law, so.
There you go.
I wouldn't worry about it.
And they take your email away from you.
So it's 6 o'clock.
So my suspicion is we need to find a way of having one, because this is the one where we need to reappoint the officers.
Just so you know, starting July 11th, well, starting July 4th, whatever. I'm not available Monday, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays. for the news. Oh, that's, I'm playing bands.
Oh, yeah.
I'm playing a show in August at the Mount, so
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
What do you play? Trumpet?
woodwinds, saxophone, clarinet, flute.
Okay.
Escape to Margaritaville,
I have a complete set of recorders.
and I'm playing recorder in one
Are
song.
you?
Yes.
I have a bass all the way
I
down.
just needed a soprano.
I have a
Oh,
sopranino. No, kleiner sopranino.
Oh, you're smaller.
One that's smaller than a sopranino. You used to be able to
Hey,
get
my-
my fingers in there.
My granddaughter just played the flute for the her Chelmsford Middle School played it for the Woostocks,
Yeah.
the national anthem. So
Oh, okay, that's cool.
so we got to go. That was great.
That is always a good time. So
Yeah.
you can have the meetings, but just so you know, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, if you have them,
Is there a way you can zoom in to a meeting?
one of them is in Ashby. Internet is.
It's sketchy.
We're being recorded. We won't talk about that.
Lemons, no, I have to report at 6:30. I have to drive there. I have to set up.
What is, oh, you mean
What's-
you have to be there by 6:30?
What
Yeah.
about Thursday?
I'm open Thursdays.
I'm open Thursday.
Like, what would that be? The second, the Thursday before the fourth?
No.
Oh, 7th. I'm not available that particular one.
Um,
What we
Well,
need to do, I suspect, is
Are we not
To-
allowed to go prior to, like, at the very end of June?
I don't believe so. It's not my expertise, but I believe
I
the
would
first
think as long as
meeting
we
of the
post
financial
it.
year,
First, because it's fiscal year, right?
As long
because
as we
the
post
books are
it.
getting closed and things.
Yeah.
If I put out an email that asks everybody on the committee to let me know free evenings and times in the first 2 weeks of July,
Reply
And-
sender.
I can, yes, reply sender only. I can try and see if I can find a communal date
What I would
just for
do
this one meeting.
is put each day, July 11, July 12, just put that down so people can just say yes, no, yes, no, yes,
Yeah.
yes, no, no.
Yeah.
And you could put times.
Mhm.
There is that.
Yeah, now I wanted to ask something. Since all of us on this committee are retired, is there any, do we have to meet at night?
Nope.
Actually, I think you're right. Other than
My suggestion was if we meet on the Monday, the issue is I set up, I put everything together. I
Right.
have to be here early. I have to watch the weather. I have to call people if we're canceled.
Yeah,
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I just show up. So that's a different deal. But we could meet on the 11th, 1 o'clock type thing. That would be fine. You know, that kind of thing works.
1 o'clock in the morning.
1 in the afternoon.
Oh,
How about 1300?
But that's, you know what I mean? If it's a Monday, it has to be early enough that I can do
Yeah.
more.
why don't I put that as an option
Do
in
that.
the email I send out?
okay, sounds good.
Unless as Clark, you'd like to send the email out. I probably should.
It should come from you.
Yeah.
You should do something.
Something for you to do. Can we count on you being our chair again for the following year?
That's for the committee to decide. From my perspective, I'm willing. The committee decides that. Oh,
I can be bought.
faith.
Small batch scotch.
Yeah. We're,
Actually, a member of my Whiskey Appreciation Society is in Scotland this,
Oh.
and she's supposed to bring back some branch water.
Oh.
So it's water from the branch of the stream above the distillery. So you need the branch water and the
And-
whiskey.
Right.
Interesting to see
Oh.
what she brings back.
Yes.
Single malt might
I'll
stop.
put next meeting TBD.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Unless there's anything else, I'm hearing a motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
I have a second to the motion.
We should do a
Do we have any, oh, we don't have discussion on this one.
No.
One of these
No.
days I'll work it out. So Faith by roll call.
Yeah, aye.
Aye. Paul,
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Steve, aye. So thank you all.
Good.
Thank you.
Send this up later.
So now that we're.
Yeah,
off the
let's
record-
be,
No, no, hang
let's
on.
be
Hang
creative.
on, I gotta turn this off. We're still being
Just-
recorded.
I just want to say,
Sure.
let's be creative about when we meet, because we don't have to meet